WSAV is your local election headquarters, a decision that came down just this evening. A judge ruling in favor of a lawsuit filed by local Republicans that invalidates recent election rule changes passed by the Georgia State Election Board. WSAV's Christine Quayle explains what this means for your vote.
So Tina, two of the major changes we're going to see in light of this decision are that ballots will no longer have to be hand counted, and an undefined reasonable inquiry into election results before certification will also no longer be an option.
The decision came just after 6 o'clock tonight from Fulton County Superior Court Judge Thomas Cox. In recent weeks, the Republican majority on the state election board passed the 7 rules listed in the lawsuit, but Democrats have denounced them, claiming they would cause chaos on Election Day and could be misused to dispute the results. But the lawsuit that produced today's verdict was actually filed by Republicans.
We could debate all day long whether or not each of these rules is a good idea or bad idea. What we're saying is it's not the role of the State Elections Board to make these rules.
James Hall is a plaintiff, but also a member of the Chatham County Board of Elections. I spoke with him yesterday before the hearing.
Whether we think the rules are a good idea or a bad idea is immaterial because it all goes back to separation of powers, and this is a regulatory board with unelected officials, and they simply don't have the authority to make laws like the Georgia General Assembly does.
The other plaintiffs in the suit are Scott Turner, a former Republican state legislator, and his election advocacy organization, Eternal Vigilance Action. Other similar groups joining in like Right Count.
We filed an amicus brief to support the lawsuit that the state election board had overreached their duties by trying to basically legislate election laws instead of just carrying them out, that they crossed a line.
And the suit from Hall and Turner isn't the only one that's been ruled on in the last few days. A different Fulton County judge ruled late last night specifically that election staff in Georgia will not be required to hand count ballots, and another ruling hours before that requiring election results to be certified under all circumstances.
Now, something important to remember here, the other side can appeal any of these decisions, but there isn't much time left because the election is on November 5th. There were also a total of 7 rules that were invalidated by this decision tonight. Christine Quayle, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Christine.